My dad wanted to provide a better education for me and my sisters because in India, well, we went from India to Saudi Arabia. And both of those countries, it's kind of like women are obviously not seen as powerful as men. So, you know, they aren't given every resource they need to become what they want. So my dad wanted that for us, so he brought us to America. I actually had a lot of fun growing up here. I'm not even gonna lie, like it was nice. We moved to Duluth, and you know, Duluth is still a really diverse community. So I've never really grown up in a community where there's been a lot of discrimination. I feel like it wasn't that bad while I was kind of growing up. Well, it could have been, but it wasn't that obvious as it is now. But there definitely is discrimination, whether it's seen or hidden. I know that my mom, she takes a hijab once in a while, which is the scarf that Muslim women wear around their face. And she got into a car accident a few weeks ago, and the cop that came, he was Caucasian. And with everything that's going on right now, you know, my sister kind of freaked out, and she was like, "Mom, hurry up and take it off." And my mom, like, you know, she was scared too, so she had to take off her hijab so that, you know, the cop wouldn't blame her for something that wasn't her fault or something like that. She was just scared. So I hate that my mom has that fear. We still feel discrimination. It's not like we ever let people, we don't like make it big that we're Muslim or really put it out there. As I said, there's always that hidden discrimination. And so even if people didn't know we were Muslim, we're still a different color, we look different. So we would still get looks if we ever went to a store while my mom was wearing her hijab. You know, you see the eyes, and it's like, what are you guys looking at? Like, it's almost as if a different culture or religion is a sin in this country, and it's just sad. It's unfair. It's like, how can a religion or culture determine how you feel about someone, you know? A person should be seen without all of that. And without that, if people continue to see people for their religion or their culture, we're never gonna get anywhere. We're never gonna get further in life, so it's just unfair. When people call someone illegal or an immigrant, it's just, I don't know, I don't like to hear those words, not because those words are bad, but because people associate with those words negatively. You know, it becomes a label, and it's like, that's not who I am. I'm not illegal, and I'm not an immigrant, you know? I'm Samra, like, I'm a person. So it's kind of like, why don't you see me as a person, you know? Why an illegal immigrant or she's an alien just because I came from another country? You know, because in the end, we all are humans, so we all should be seen as that. I really hope people start to understand illegal immigrants, and they start to stop the use of those labels and see them for who they are and what they want and what they do here, you know? Everyone just sees illegal immigrants as, not even illegal, immigrants period, they see them as criminals or just bad people, but why? What have they ever done to you? You know? There's bad people in every race and every religion. It's not specifically towards one group, so you can't discriminate like that. So I really hope people start to change their mindset, because if we don't, then we're never going to come together as humans.
We came because my husband came first before we got married, and he was looking for opportunities for us to get married and live better. So he had relatives over here, and he knew that they were doing very well. So he tried, and that's when we decided, when we get married, to stay here and bring our kids to have a better life too. It was very tough to come illegal because we had to work a lot of hours. It was scary because I was with people that didn't know, trying to cross the border too. But after we got here and I knew I was safe, kind of like sad because you can feel the difference from your original country to another country. It was kind of like didn't like it a lot. I have 2 children here, and then I went back to Mexico, and she was born over there. And then when I became legal, we all came together.
I was 3 years old when we first immigrated from Mexico. The only thing I remember mostly is having a new school experience, because I had to come over here and I didn't speak the language, so having to start from kindergarten and having to be around people I didn't know, people who didn't look like me, especially living in Demarest, it was mostly Caucasian people, and I didn't really have a lot of people that looked like me, so just being submerged in that was so new to me. I know the only time I've kind of felt like I was judged was senior year of high school. You're applying for colleges, and obviously scholarships are aimed towards Latinos, and so whenever I would apply, or whenever I was talking about schools I wanted to apply, like Georgia Tech or whatever school I wanted to, there were comments like, of course you're gonna get in, you're a minority and you're a female. So to me that kind of overshadowed anything I actually accomplished.
For me, actually, I think that until we came here to Georgia is when I started feeling that way, because in California, by then, I mean, nobody were talking about immigrants or that we were doing something wrong or they didn't like us. But here is when we started. I don't know why they think different than other states, but yeah, it kind of concern me, because you never know, if you had to go to, for example, the police office, you never know. You're scared of asking for the help because they might treat you different or start questioning you too much, or I mean things like that. Hospitals too. You see, they always think that we are here just taking advantage, but we have to take care of what we have to. So it's why we need their help, but we're not taking advantage. But we all are here for make a difference in our life. So they should give us the chance. We are already here, and even though a lot of people would like to go back to their original countries, they cannot.
I think it's been a blessing in disguise. You have to go through some hardships, some obstacles, you have to learn the language and adjust, but overall it's worth it. You're able to progress and you're able to just improve your life and experience so much.
Yeah, especially that.
I know the one thing that would scare me is if we were ever to be separated, because the only difference between me and my siblings is the fact that they got lucky and they were born in the United States. But I could always go the route to get my citizenship, but there's always that little piece of me that doesn't want to, fully get my American citizenship, because you're kind of leaving a piece of yourself behind. I don't really feel like I'm missing a lot until I actually visit Mexico and I see how simple of a lifestyle they have, and I see all of these cousins that I've never met before, and I see how they're just so united as a family. It's kind of like we're not entirely a part of it. So we're only there for a few weeks at a time, and we only see them twice every 10 years, I'd say, or once every couple of years when we have the chance. And it's kind of sad because I don't know what's going through their minds. I don't know if they're thinking oh, they only come when it's convenient, but it's genuinely really hard to just stop your life here to go have one over there for a small amount of time. Sometimes I just think where would I be had my parents not made the choice to come over or made the decision to start over in a different place that was completely foreign to them. And I just think where would I be, and I always picture myself just being a housewife, because when I look at my aunts, none of them are really educated. All they do is basically just raise a family. That's what they've been taught to do. And so for me to be over here and have the chance to choose a major, choose what career I want to do, and just go to college is honestly such a blessing that a lot of my cousins don't have. And so whenever I go over there, I almost feel really bad, almost guilty that I was given this privilege over them, because we're not any different. The only difference is that my parents made a choice to come over, and they had to risk everything they had to be here, and that their parents necessarily didn't have that opportunity. And so for me, the opportunity to be here makes everything different. It's just such a blessing. I hope that people just view each other as humans, and they realize that immigrants don't come over here for like handouts. They take a risk. They're not over here by like a choice where they just make it up one day. They're over here because they need it. It's a necessity. So I hope people understand that we're not trying to take jobs. We're just trying to coexist and be human together and improve our lives.
Even though a lot of people don't like us over here, but we are in this country that is giving us more opportunities than our own country. Because in my times, everything was easy. But now, for everybody, anytime, everybody, if they wanted to go back to Mexico, it's very, very dangerous. And it's one of the reasons I'm not even planning to go back, because for my kids to be in dangerous, I'd rather stay here with them. I wanted to go back and stay there for a while, but I think I want to forget about it, just visit my parents and come back. And we are living here. It's our home now. We're seeing this country as our country, so we're going to do the best we can, and we're not going to try to do any hurt, to nobody. So I'm glad that we are here, and I hope that people understand this is our country now, it's our life now.
My father was only 34 years old when his company made him retire. But retirement is not paid in Colombia. They pretty much just said, you can work with us anymore because you're too old. He was only 34. I remember he was really, really terribly depressed, and him and his friends got together, him and I think there were 5 other friends that lost their jobs with the same company. And they decided that Canada was the place for them to go to. They all seemed to have gotten a tourist visa, and they flew into Canada and they stayed. And we didn't see my dad for 4 years. The next time we saw our dad was when he returned to Colombia to convince our mother, my mother, to be willing to give up her home and life as she knew it to apply for a visa to come to the United States. I guess the regulations had changed that year, and they were allowing family members to come so that they could join their family members here. And it took about 3 months with the new regulations, and we were very fortunate to have been given a visa to come to the United States. We were coming here to contribute to the society here. This would be a place where we could contribute. In Colombia, we didn't feel we could contribute anything because we were not even having the opportunity to get educated. If we were educated, we would be able to contribute to this society. The first few years were hard, and when we moved to New Jersey, it was really, really, really hard. Me going back to Colombia and trying to figure out if I had a place there, and finding out that I did not have a place there, that to my society as I left it, I was too American, and coming here I was too Colombian, so I really didn't fit anywhere. And I decided, well, if I want to make a contribution anywhere, and especially in this country where I could at least have the opportunity to try to make a contribution, that the best place to make that contribution would be through joining the military. I looked to see what was the best branch of the service in which I would feel happy serving, and I found that Marine Corps would be the place where I would feel that I was contributing the most and that I felt was the best branch. After I left the military, I was able to go to college, and I got a degree in telecommunications management, and had the opportunity to do the things that I wanted to do in my life. I have a mentality of a fighter, and not as a fighter physically, but an ideas fighter, a person that looks at things and says, this is not going to defeat me. I can evaluate life and know within myself that there's hope every day, but I do see that possibilities diminished in the society today because of what I see as a lot of resentment, possible hatred that I had seen before, that we as immigrants can tell when people don't like you and people don't want you to be there, but people were restrained at showing bluntly that kind of hatred and that kind of dislike. And today it seems like people have been given some kind of permission to be bad within themselves, like they have given themselves permission, they have given their spirits permission to be who they were hiding. And it makes me sad. The idea that immigrants make the decision to be brave, to leave their country and leave their family and leave their friends and leave their food and leave their daily life to try to do better is the same, is with us forever. It's within us forever. So that's called being brave. Hatred cannot stop that thing that is called bravery. It's just impossible.